How are we doing?
Yeah, good, thanks.
Brilliant. Dave, can we just start with you? We've got some new names in here. Could you take us through why these guys are included? Was it kind of like a planned thing, or was it specifically for Scotland? Because I know for under 20s you're developing players as well as trying to win the thing. Why have these guys come in now?
Yeah, I think it's a combination of giving guys an opportunity, having a look at people, but also rewarding those that have been playing well for their clubs across the various competitions they've been in. We're very lucky to have such a group, such a big group of players to pick from. I think going back to when my first involvement with the regional days before Christmas, where we had ultimately probably 60 to 70 players over 3 single days of training around the country, where we were able to look. And for me, it was a great opportunity to meet people and sort of, and to be honest, I was blown away by the talent pool we've got to select from. So I think this week, I said, it's probably a combination of everything. We're really excited about the game. We've got good momentum from the Ireland game and the France game in pretty tricky conditions, so we thought, we'd tell you what, let's bring it up to Newcastle, where it's bound to be balmy and still. And hopefully we can play a good brand of rugby, but expecting a tough game against the Scots, and picking a team that allows us to play how we want to play.
Okay, yeah. So, which of these guys here, particularly, people might not be familiar with them. Should we watch out for? What is it about these players that we should be, excited to see? Like Pearson here, Lillian.
Yeah, I think with this, I wouldn't really want to single anyone out. I think the players have been challenged to go away. So, for example, George Pearson, he's been in and around, he's trained with us all the way through, and he's done an outstanding job, and he's had a good couple of games playing on the weekend for I think it's Leicester Tigers, not Leicester Tigers, the Leicester Lions, I think it is he plays for, is that right? And he's putting his hand up and playing well, and the reports from Leicester Tigers are that he's training well. He very laid back character, but I've only worked with him for say 2 or 3 weeks, although across 2 or 3 months, and I'm really excited to see how he goes. And Nick Lilly's another one. He's had a flavour of it. He came on against France half time and did a really good job, and he's young and exciting. So I think I'm excited to see how both those guys go. But to be honest, I'm just excited. I'm loving the space that I'm working in and seeing these guys actually get an opportunity to play rugby almost on consecutive weekends, which a lot of the guys haven't. I think they have a very staccato season with the base the way they are, and they all play various, whether it's Bucks or whether it's their lone team. So it's been nice to see a little bit of continuity for them, and hopefully that reflects in their performance on Friday.
Thank you. Kane, wouldn't want you to be left out. Nice to see you again.
Yeah, nice to see you, Rich.
Thank you very much. You've got a bit of a change in your back row here. You've got one mate gone, Pollock's training with the seniors, and one of your friends is back in, Junior. Does that change the dynamic in the back row, how you guys play your roles?
Yeah, I think it does kind of change it, but on the whole, it's not too dissimilar. I think Junior's taking more of a role outside of the line out this week and sort of running with the backs. So I think that will be a slightly different dynamic to Pollock. So yeah, that'll be a different challenge, with sort of maybe a bigger, harder ball carrier, but sort of like changing away from the power that Pollock brings. But yeah, I think it's slightly different, but not too dissimilar on the whole.
Yes. Could you just expand on that? Maybe that sounds interesting. When you're saying Junior outside of the line out, are you saying he's not going to be one of the primary jumpers? You're going to be using him as a ball carrier? Dave, feel free to jump in.
Yeah, no, in certain situations, certain things we will use all the players to their various strengths, and we feel that you've got a youngster who's so big, literally physical stature. At certain times you want to try and get these players in the game, so he'll take roles on both in the line and out of it, and when he's out of it, he's a weapon, an unbelievable weapon to have to use.
Is that partly because he hasn't been in the group? You've been kind of working with a core group in that line out, and you don't want to slot him in and maybe disrupt that slightly?
Not really. No, I think it's more looking at what players can and can't offer, and having a look at opportunities and using playing to players' strengths. We're very blessed throughout the whole pack. We've got various ball carriers, all offer something a little bit different. Some have got the little deft skills. at the line and be through contact. Some have got the physical power, and it's just trying to get that blend right and look at different variations and trying to work out what's best for us as a group and how we can use and fit everyone in that jigsaw together. And I say there'll be times when Junior's in the line out and we'll build our mauls around him. There'll be times when he'll be potentially out in the back line, running lines of running and things like that. So I guess it's about the variation, and it also is trying to challenge the players to add to their skill sets as well. We talked about developing them. It's recognizing what their strengths are and playing to their strengths, but at the same time having one eye on how you can potentially build their game as they develop as young men.
Yeah, that'll be exciting to see. A couple more, if I may, then I'll pass it on. Kane, you've got another game maybe in the rain. Are the coaches giving you particular messages on how to play in those conditions, or are you literally trying to put your game plan on the pitch, no matter
yeah,
the
I
conditions?
think it just comes down. Yeah, we're trying to play our own game, but I think when the conditions don't play ball, I think we're good enough rugby players to adapt to it on the day. I think it showed with some of our decisions against Ireland, looking to probably maul a bit more when it's getting a bit windy. But yeah, I think we've got a game plan, and I think if we need to adapt on the day, I think we can.
I think, well, sorry, jump in. One thing that I've been really impressed with, over the years of Tofty being in charge is the word, adaptability, how important it is to stress the players. And I think what we've seen in the first two games, we've had a plan A going into the game, but come game day, in Ireland, we got to Ireland and the forecast was great. And then literally as we arrived the night before the game at the team run, it started to rain, and it pretty much rained just for the team run, and then came back an hour before kickoff on the Friday night. And I think the players, the way they've adapted, I think they've had it across the whole pathway, really read into them that they've got to have plan A, but also have the flexibility and an open mind to recognize when the situation needs changing, and also when they can actually implement which part of the game plan when. I think that's something that the boys, credit to the boys, that have been very good at in the first two games.
Yeah, well, Owen, talking about that then, Kane, who are the key guys who are making those calls? Obviously, you haven't got Henry in there at the moment. Who is it kind of resting on certain people's shoulders to do that?
I think it's a whole team effort, but sort of just going back to the classic halfbacks, I think Cohen's making the decisions whether or not we're tanking or playing off, or we're mauling or playing off the line out. So I think probably nines and tens, but yeah, everyone's sort of got a responsibility to adapt to the game.
Okay, and just last one for you, Dave, if I may. Scotland, completely different team, of course. Have you been watching them? Is there something that you're watching for that you're adapting your game to slightly, or are you literally concentrating on yourselves?
We concentrate on ourselves, but we are obviously aware of their strengths and what they've brought in their opening two rounds, and how they try and play the game, and how we think that they'll try and test us. And so we've got an eye on them, but ultimately the game is about what we do when we're in control of the ball, and also when they've got the ball, how we can go and get it back. So we're aware of how we think they'll play, but again, it's up to our players to have that mindset out on the pitch, to recognize maybe that they're seeing a picture that they haven't seen on an analysis, and having the flexibility to react to that. And I think, again, so far in the first two rounds, that's something the players are very, very good at, especially in defence, was picking up threats that maybe Ireland and France we weren't quite ready for, but the trust in this process and the system, and the boys adapted really, really well.
Brilliant. I'll leave it there, guys. I'm just really looking forward to England unloading on a team. Hopefully it's the Scots, because you've done what you've needed to do so far, but really excited to see what this group can do. So all the best, Kane. All the best, Dave.
Thank you very much. Appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you.